students, good afternoon. Welcome to the chemistry class. Today in this class we will discuss about the chapter aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acids. So what are the aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid? It is very important chapter from your for your exam point of view. In your exam there are 7 to 8 mark questions are come from this chapter, so very important chapter this. Okay, now what are aldehyde, ketone and carboxylic acid? So C double bond O, it is known as a functional group, that is known as the carbonyl group. If in this carbonyl group there is one alkyl group and one hydrogen is present, then it is known as the aldehyde. Means it is the basic or general formula for the aldehyde. Okay, second, if in this carbonyl group there is both alkyl groups are present on these free valency, okay, then it is known as ketones. So in aldehyde there was one alkyl group and one hydrogen, but in ketones there is two alkyl groups are attached with this carbonyl group, then it is known as ketones. Okay, and third one is carboxylic acid. So in this carbonyl group, if at one valency there is an alkyl group and other valency there is OH group, okay, at other valency there is OH group is present, then it is known as the carboxylic acid. So these are the basic functional groups for the aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acids. Okay, so there is a list is given in which there are some aldehyde, ketone and carboxylic acids are given, the family name, general structural formula and functional group present. Okay, in aldehydes are C double bond OH, that is known as the aldehyde, in which one hydrogen is present in this position, and in ketone there is two alkyl group are present and represented by this functional group, and carboxylic acid there is RCOOH and represented by this functional group unit. Okay, and carboxylic acid derivative, in carboxylic acid derivative there is one other functional group is present at this valency. Here you can see that there is OH group, but in this carboxylic acid derivative there will other functional group like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. Then they are known as carboxylic acid derivative, that is acyl halide. If there is halogen is present, then it is known as the acyl halide. Okay, and if there is other unit, same unit of carbonyl group is present, then they are known as acid anhydride, and if there is OR is present, then they are known as esters, and if there is NH2 is present at this point, then it is known as amides. So these are the derivative of carboxylic acids basically. Okay, so they were the carboxylic compounds of aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid, and they are known as the aliphatic, and these are the basically aromatic aldehyde and carboxylic acid. This is the formula in which there is aldehyde group, and when benzene and alcoholic group is also present, then this is commonly known as the vanillin, and when there is aldehyde group and one OH group is present at its ortho position, then it is known as salicylaldehyde, and it is known as the cinnamaldehyde, in which there is a hydrocarbon chain will be present with carbon-carbon double bond and functional group aldehyde CHO. Okay, so these are some common examples of aldehydes. Now come to the aldehyde and ketones. So as we have discussed before, in aldehyde there is one alkyl group and one hydrogen group, and in ketones there is one alkyl and other alkyl group present, then they are known as the ketones. Okay, so if we will talk about the classification of the aldehydes, so on the basis of their structure, first one aliphatic aldehyde, means there are no aromatic ring. For example, formaldehyde, in aliphatic there will be a carbon chain present, okay, no any benzene ring, then they are called aliphatic aldehydes. Okay, CH3H, CH3CH2OH, means here you can say at the place of R there will be any carbon chain will be present in the compound, then they were known as aldehydes. Okay, and basically aliphatic aldehydes. And the second type of aldehydes are known as aromatic aldehydes. In this type of aldehyde, with aldehydic functional group, there will be a benzene ring or aromatic system will be present. That is known as the benzaldehyde, and in this there is one methyl group and then one aldehydic group. Then this type of compound is known as the orthomethyl benzaldehyde. Okay, other examples are also here. You can see that is a phenyl acetaldehyde and that is known as the cinnamaldehyde. Okay, now classification of ketones. So like aldehydes, we can classify ketones also. There are symmetrical ketones when when the aryl and alkyl groups attached to the carbonyl group are similar, then the ketones are called symmetrical. Means in, as we know that in ketones there are RCOR, means at the place of these are, when same group were present, then they are known as symmetrical ketone. Here you can see that there is at the place of one alkyl group there is benzene ring, and at place of another alkyl group there is also a benzene ring. So these type of ketones are basically known as the symmetrical ketones. That is known as diphenyl ketone and this is known as acetophenone, in which same alkyl groups are attached to the carbonyl group. Okay, and the second type of ketones are unsymmetrical ketones, when these alkyl groups were different. In this compound you can see one is aromatic system and other is aliphatic system, then it is known as unsymmetrical ketones. It is an other example. Here one carbon group is present and on this side there is two carbon group will present. So these are the unsymmetrical ketones. Okay, now ketones are further divided into aliphatic ketones, means when carbonyl group attached with two different type of alkyl groups, in which they are basically made up of hydrocarbon chain, then they are known as the aliphatic. Okay, symmetrical and unsymmetrical both. And second type, in which aromatic, means when there is a benzene group, aryl group will be present with ketones, then they are known as the aromatic oblique aryl ketones. Okay, in which they are called single aryl ketones, they are known as diaryl ketones because there are two aromatic systems are attached with carbonyl group. Okay, and there are the other examples are given here. Okay, now come to the nomenclature of the aldehyde and ketones. So for CHO means aldehyde group, we use suffix al, and for ketone we use suffix on during naming the aldehyde and ketones. So here was some examples and their IUPAC name. For example, SCHO, commonly known as formaldehyde, but its IUPAC name will be methanol because there is one carbon. For one we use meth, and there are all carbon attached with single atom to ane, and for suffix aldehyde al. So that is known as the methanol. And for 2 carbon it will be known as the ethanol, and 3 carbon propanol, 4 carbon then it is known as butanol, and it is also known as 2-methyl propanol because after doing numbering 1, 2 and 3, at carbon number 2 there is a methyl group branching is attached, so it will be 2-methyl propanol. Okay, so in this type you can write the IUPAC name of any aliphatic aldehyde, and these are the IUPAC name of aromatic compounds. They are generally known as the benzaldehyde, but benzaldehyde and IUPAC name also will be the benzaldehyde for this reason. But for this compound the IUPAC name will be different. It is known as the phenyl ethanol. Why? There are 2 carbons are present, 1 and 2, and at 2 carbon there is a 1 phenyl group is present. So it is known as the basically 2-phenyl ethanol. It should be 2-phenyl ethanol. Okay, and like that this here you can see that there are 2 functional group are present. One is CHO group and other is OH group, alcoholic group and aldehydic group. So writing this compound, the IPC name the 2-hydroxybenzaldehyde, because it will consider a prefix, and in prefix for OH hydroxy is used, and for suffix for CHO it is written as un. Okay, so 2-hydroxybenzaldehyde will be the name of IPC name of this compound. Okay, same for nomenclature for ketones. So as we know that for ketones we use own suffix. So here you can say there are 3 carbon chain. So for 3 we use prop, we use prop. Okay, and there are at number 2 carbon there is a ketonic group is present. So prop 2 on. Okay, it is called prop 2 on. Yep, propanone 2, or it is also known as propanone 2. Okay, and commonly known as acetone, and it is known as the diethyl ketone, but the IPC name of this compound will be pentanone 2, because 5 carbon chain is present here, pentanone 2. Okay, yeah, here you can see the list: 3 carbon propanone 2, 4 carbon butanone 2, 5th carbon pentanone 2, 6 carbon pentanone 5th carbon pentanone 2, and it is pentanone 3, and like that isopentane 3 methyl butanone 2. These are the IPC name of aliphatic compounds. In aromatic compounds, that is methyl phenyl ketone or acetophenone, and that is known as the benzophenone. Okay, and 3 methyl prop 2 on, it is known as 3 methyl prop 2 on, because after doing the numbering 1 2 3 it will come. Okay, so these are the IPC name of the